Hello, I'm Rochelle. I'm so glad you're watching this video. I am a Jesus follower, first of all. I'm also a wife and a mom of three. And one thing that I'm really passionate about in life is biblical living. I believe that God's word is sufficient for every single area of our lives. And one of the ways I like to teach that to other people is the way that God's word is sufficient as a parenting guide. And I think that in our world today, it can be very confusing and a little bit distracting when there are so many people who are coming up with ideas of what they think should be the way to raise your children. And sometimes they'll sprinkle some Bible verses in there, but a lot of the times it's actually questioning and saying, did God really say that? Did God really mean that? Which we know is one of the very first tactics that the enemy used to get us to start questioning if God really said what we think he said. And there's many buzzwords going around right now and trending things on parenting and different people's experiences. And I think it's so important to get back to the basics, get back to the truth of God's word, reading it for what it says and obeying what it says. And I believe that we should not be confused because God is not the author of confusion. He does not want us to be confused. And with all the voices around us, it can be easy to get confused. So I would love to ask you if you would like to join me in this 4-week study that I'm going to be doing on raising biblical children in this world today. It's difficult with all the different things that are going on, but I'm going to just be doing a short study with some basic principles, foundational principles that are going to help you stay where you need to stay in God's word, since we know he's the best one to learn from. He's the one that created us, and he's the one that created our children. My oldest two boys are biological children. They're 21 and 19. My youngest is 12, and we adopted him from foster care. I've also been a foster mom to 7 other children. And through all of the years of my parenting, the truth remains. God's word is true and God's word is sufficient. This is what we should be using as a guide for our parenting. And so if you are interested, this is by invite only. It is not just going to be out there on YouTube, mostly because I know there's a lot of people who just like to argue and fight with other people. They don't actually want to learn. If you are a Christian and you want to learn some principles from God's word that's going to help you with raising biblical children, then I'm inviting you just to join me. It's free, but you have to be invited to come. And I'm really excited to teach you what I have learned, how God's word is sufficient, and how it is going to help you raise children in this day and age to be strong, godly men and women that live for Jesus and that love him. So if you want to join me, drop a comment below and I will send you the information. And I am excited to be a part of this so we can grow together.